Viewers, the big story that we are breaking for you here on Times Now is about Trump tariff. 50% Trump tariff is going to kick in from today. It is 27th of August. The notification from Trump administration, in fact, had come yesterday, and that clearly meant that this amount is not going to go down, the percentage that we are talking about. Remember, additional 25% was imposed by Donald Trump on India for buying oil from Russia. While India's stance has been absolutely clear, it is nation first. And that is something that has been the driving force as far as India's decision-making is concerned. And now the latest is that 50% tariff comes into effect officially. And for more on this, I'm now joined by my colleague Srinjoy Chowdhury. Srinjoy, good morning. So the trauma, as many say, at least for some industries, has begun.
Yes. For garments, for gold and jewelry, most certainly, some of the other areas. But let's not forget something, that Indo-US ties have not been very good for long periods of time. Let's remember 1998, when India went nuclear. And at that time, the Americans were very tough. Let's remember the time when this Devyani Khobda Ghade incident happened. That too led to a very bad phase in ties between India and the United States. Now this is another such phase. We don't know how long this will last. We don't know what President Trump is going to think about all this tomorrow. The only point that has to be made here is that if there is an additional tariff because India is buying oil from Russia, well, President Trump is trying to end the war between Ukraine and Russia. So when the war ends, and President Trump had said he would end the war within a day of becoming president, we are already into about 210 days. Well, as soon as the war ends, and as soon as President Trump tries and ends the war, as he has promised to do, oil prices worldwide would dip. And if the oil prices dip, then naturally there's no question of buying cheap oil from Russia. That's something that has to be understood. Secondly, we also know why there are no serious tariffs on China, though President Trump had threatened 100% plus tariff on China. Now, let's not forget, China is the world's largest exporter. America is the world's largest importer. If you had serious tariffs on Chinese goods flowing into America, then inflation would shoot up. And if inflation shot up, Trump's own supporters would turn their backs on him. Right. Now, there is a clear realization of that. Can you imagine $450 billion of goods are imported from China by America? America exports only $150 billion. So clearly, there is not only a trade gap, but those $450 billion of goods. Imagine a 50% tariff on them.
Well, absolutely, and we'll have to wait and see how the Indian government really responds to the big development, because now officially 50% Trump tariff has kicked in for Indian exporters. Of course, temporarily it is going to have an impact on several industries like textile, apparel, gems and jewelry, etc. But we'll have to see how the government plans to cushion the impact of Trump tariffs. Thank you very much, Srinjoy. Appreciate you joining us with your inputs on this story. And viewers, let's now also tell you a little bit about what happens next, because on one hand, of course, Trump tariffs have kicked in today, but despite that, India's stand has been absolutely clear that national interest is something that comes first. And here's something that Donald Trump needs to really keep an eye on. Prime Minister Narendra Modi's visit, in fact, to China this week to attend the summit hosted by Chinese leader Xi Jinping. Now, that's going to be a very, very important visit after Trump tariff kicks in, because India had made it absolutely clear it is now not going to buckle under any kind of pressure. It is going to keep India first, even though Trump has been putting in a lot of pressure on India clearly to, open its markets as far as the agriculture sector is concerned. So geopolitically also a lot is happening amidst this tariff tantrum by Donald Trump.